graphic content. The Atlanta Lovers Lane murders were a series of unsolved shooting attacks on 3 different couples in Atlanta, Georgia in early 1977, which left 3 dead and 3 others injured. It was suspected that the same person was responsible for all 3 attacks. At around 1 a.m. on January 16th of 1977, an out-of-control car drove full speed into an intersection and hit a street sign in Atlanta, Georgia. Police were called after witnesses noticed that the occupants weren't getting out of the car. They searched the car, where they found a 26-year-old LeBrian Lovett and a 25-year-old Veronica Hill, both completely naked with gunshot wounds. Veronica was in the back seat of the car under a coat. LeBrian's wounds were in the head, stomach, right leg, and left arm. Veronica Hill's wounds were in the left leg and her abdomen. At the time of the crash, both of them were still alive. They were rushed to the hospital, but sadly, both of them died of their wounds. During the investigation, it was noted that the couple was seen heading to Adams Park, which was a notorious hangout spot for couples who were wanting to get it on. Because of this, investigators determined that the two had probably been engaged in relations when an unknown person walked up and opened fire through the front window screen of that car. LeBrian attempted to drive for help, but his injuries were just too much. He likely passed out and lost control of the car. The bullets from LeBrian and Veronica were tested, and it was determined that the killer had used a .38 caliber gun. A little less than a month later, at around 2 a.m. on February 12th of 1977, 18-year-old Dennis Langston and 17-year-old Detira Tatum were engaged in relations in a parked car in West Manor Park when a mysterious person approached the passenger window and fired 6 shots. One of the bullets hit Dennis and another hit Detira. Both of the teenagers were still alive, but were seriously injured, and they were rushed to the hospital. Dennis and Detira would both make a full recovery. They both said that they got a quick look at the shooter, but they were only able to identify him as a tall black man. The bullets that the perpetrator fired were tested, and investigators determined that they came from the same gun that killed LeBrian Lovett and Veronica Hill a month earlier. It was that same .38 caliber. Exactly a month later, on March 12th of 1977, 20-year-old young lady named Diane Collins was with her fiancé in Adams Park. They had seen a movie earlier that evening, and they were closing out their date with a romantic romp in the park. Neither of them saw the gunman as he got close to their vehicle. Again, he shot 6 rounds into the passenger side window. They killed Diane Collins. Her fiancé was wounded in the head, but he did survive. After the attack, he even managed to drive the car to his home, where he phoned for an ambulance. I guess it was closer than the hospital, probably. And of course, this was 1977, so they didn't have cell phones. I wasn't able to find much information on him, but I'm pretty sure that he just wanted to be left alone after living through something like this. It was not until later on in March when police revealed to the public that the 3 shootings were actually linked. The same gun was used in all 3, and the modus operandi was exactly the same. During the investigation, detectives noticed a pattern in the dates of the shootings. They theorized that the killer was following a 3-week schedule, as the second shooting occurred 26 days after the first shooting, and the third shooting occurred 28 days after the second one. They thought that if the killer was following this 3-week schedule, then he would strike between the 6th and 8th of April. They formed a plan. Between those days, April 6th through 8th, undercover cops scoped out Adams Park and West Manor Park both, waiting for that killer to show up, but the killer failed to appear at all. In fact, the killer was believed to never have struck again. Nevertheless, police still investigated the murders until attention was diverted to the Atlanta child murders. I'll get into that in the very next episode, so you don't want to miss that. But they started spending more time focusing on that one. By 1980, the police said that the investigation into the Lovers Lane shootings had come to a dead end. There has never been any named suspects in the case, and it remains unsolved even now. If you're a fan of dark history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.